today to this unbelievable video of This Is America. I promise you, I have lost hours, probably 2+ hours, trying to unpack this thing. Hey, Julie, trying to unpack this thing, trying to understand this. Not understand it so much exclusively myself, but understand how America is understanding this. This Is America is a piece of art that is, I think, a defining moment in the discourse on race and race relations in this country. It is sorely needed. I applaud Mr. Glover for being part of this. I spent hours just reacting to the reactions on This Is America, and we're excited about the show today. I got my good friend, Mr. Sanders. He just came in the room. I seen the light up. Gotta get your mic on, Mr. Sanders. Yeah, he just came in. I told you we always on time except for when we late. But I'm gonna tell you something. This Is America as a video is absolutely on time, especially considering the discussions that we've been having about what Kanye West said last week. We talked about that on Friday, and then here you come Saturday, and in a much Kanye-like way, actor, rapper, singer, Renaissance man extraordinaire, Donald Glover came out with a video called This Is America. It has taken the internet by storm. How you doing, sir? Good. Taking the internet by storm. And I know in just a few days, it's like 75 million views. There's probably really 25 million people because everybody watched it at least 3 times. If you've seen the This Is America video, you want to comment on this, you can call in the studio hotline 240-719-2560. Mr. Sanders, how you doing today?
Fine, sir.
You doing fine?
It's an honor and pleasure. And I want to say good morning to everyone who's listening to this broadcast.
I appreciate you for being here.
I want to say we all having me as part of this program.
Mr. Ron is here. Yeah, he plugging away.
Mr. Ron is an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the time we get a lot of credit. But this man
does a lot of work, Mrs. Ron. But we gotta get rocking with the show, Mr. Sanders.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for being here. You been all right? Did you have breakfast this morning? Yeah.
I'm concerned about Mr. Ron.
Okay. Listen, we're gonna talk about This Is America. I wanted to get a reaction on This Is America, but have you seen the video?
No, sir.
Okay, and I wanna show the video. I'm not gonna show it on screen here because we've all seen it, and I think Mr. Sanders has seen it. If you have not seen it, make sure you watch this video. It's one of the most important moments in art, in American art, if you ask me. It is as American as America gets. And Mr. Sanders,
yes,
I want you to dial in on this because of a few things. One, because at 71, you lived through the Jim Crow era, did you not?
Yes, sir. I didn't understand it.
I'm sorry?
I did not understand.
Didn't understand it.
Jim Crow.
Understood.
I did not understand racism.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not understand slavery and all that other stuff because nobody ever explained it to me as a young person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm well aware of it now.
Okay. And now the piece that's important here is we're dealing with Jim Crow, we're dealing with police brutality, we're dealing with black on black violence, we're dealing with mental health issues, we're dealing with the value of life, we're dealing with the value of the Second Amendment and gun control rights, we're dealing with politics on so many levels. We're a liberal or conservative. On so many levels, this video is pivotal to well and grow strong. For on tomorrow, when company comes, they won't dare send me to the kitchen. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. For I too am America.
Yeah.
That's Brother Langston, man. Now, I hope I didn't hack it up, but that's what he said. I'm the darker brother. And they try to act like they're ashamed of me and send me to the kitchen when company comes. And I could get bitter. I could be angry. I could be focused on embarrassment, dehumanization, mistreatment, criminalization. But instead, Brother Langston, he admonished us to have a different response. He said, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Can you imagine how you might feel in a moment of disrespect when company comes and they have everything set out on the table, and you who labor so much for the food, for the bounty everyone is enjoying, you're regarded because you're too dark to be sent to the kitchen, and your response is to laugh. Your response is to be positive. Your response is to be uplifted and eat well, to learn from the experience, to realize that despite the fact that you were sent into a kitchen, realize that everything that's in that dining room came out of the kitchen, came out of the place that they banished you to. America, I know about the bounty that you are dining from. The wealth of this country was built on the genocide of indigenous people and on the backs of African slaves. The wealth of Wall Street, the wealth of this nation was built on the genocide of indigenous people and the enslavement of people of African descent. And there is no way that we will allow the descendants of thieves to condescend to us as too dark to be in this dining room and share in this bounty. This is our bounty. We created this wealth, not only in the South, but in the North and the rest of the nation as well. Not only was the benefit of our free labor in the cotton industry, it didn't just affect the cotton industry. The cotton industry was financed by the banking industry. So all of these banks, Wachovia, Wells Fargo, these investment banks, JP Chase, the Brown Brothers, all of these entities benefited financially then and now from the labor of Africans and the murder of indigenous people. That is the legacy of America. It is an unfortunate, it is horrific, but it is the fact. And for us now to be treated as second-class citizens is nothing that's going to be able to continue. We will continue to resist. We will continue to change the narrative. We will continue to educate ourselves. We will continue to raise our children to recognize real history, to recognize and have acknowledged the reality of what's happening on these streets every day. I post again and again and again the mistreatment of people of African descent, unarmed by supposed officers of the law, who are the real thugs, who are the real criminals, who are the real demons, who are truly function as inhumane, who slam people on their heads, who shoot people who are not a threat, who are out there yanking senior citizens out of cars, who are out there punching teenage boys in the face, who are out there bringing mobs and gangs of supposed officers to arrest one man over him supposedly running a stop sign. Man, the police followed the man to his house, let him pull in his driveway, then got out, put a taser at him, and said, "Get back in the car." After he was at his home and in his front yard, and then called at least a dozen backup police officers and arrested this man in front of his pregnant fiance over a supposed running of a stop sign. This is the type of foolishness we're dealing with, and we will not accept this type of mistreatment, not only towards black people, but even towards our Hispanic brothers and sisters. Yes, I said it, Hispanic brothers and sisters. They are being mistreated. They had that officer, that attorney of the law, a member of the bar, went in a racist rant because some Spanish workers at a restaurant were speaking to each other in Spanish, and he threatened to call ICE on them. And then when he was asked to give account for these words that he spoke, these racist, these words that he spoke, he ran and called the police from the reporters. And that you can also check my feed. I'm this picnic lady who called the police on two brothers for barbecuing in Oakland. I will say they have Facebook shamed this woman on a level I have never seen. The memes are hilarious of this woman calling the police on black people for just being black and barbecuing. I saw a lawsuit about a brother who was homeless, and he had somehow come across $10 and went to a Burger King and ordered something to eat, and the Burger King staff called the police on him and had him locked up for supposedly passing a fake $10 bill. The man spent not 1 month, not 2 months, but 3 months in jail before they figured out that for this homeless man, that the $10 bill was real. And now he's got a lawsuit against Burger King, and he's going to get paid. You just best believe he's going to get paid. And this is going to be the price again and again. As long as we are exposed to losing our lives and not enjoying our liberty, we getting police called on black people for napping at Yale. An actual student fell asleep in the common area and got police called on her. A woman sleeping in the Yale dorm, police called. 2 men sitting in a Starbucks, police called. The brother who was working for the White House and moved to New York City, got the police called on him and accused of being a burglar for moving into his own apartment that he had for 3 weeks. He moving his stuff in. Suddenly he's a burglar, quote unquote, reportedly to have a weapon. Man had no weapon. So you weaponize and criminalize the black man and use the police as your personal racist valet. And I'm of the opinion at this point that the calling of police on innocent black people who are just trying to barbecue, sleep, Burger King, or move into their own homes, apartments, move out of their Airbnb, pull into their driveways, mind their business. If you call the police and then also accuse them of being criminals and having weapons when they're found to have none, they can't even hand a $10 bill over to get a sandwich without being criminalized. These are, in fact, acts of violence against black people. Because there are no more weaponized people in this country than police officers against black people. So for you to call the police against me when I'm minding my business is in fact an act of violence. And it should be treated as an act of violence. But I'm here to tell you on the Hall Street Journal this morning that I too sing America, that this is my country, that the wealth of this country was built on the genocide of indigenous people and the burden of labor placed on the backs of my forefathers and the blood of my forefathers who fought in wars here and abroad. And we will not stand for being treated like second-class citizens. And I will make it my personal and public objective to absolutely destroy, eradicate any semblance of this type of continued mistreatment. We will change the narrative. The media is not controlled anymore. We have the internet. We have social media. It's bigger than legacy media. And social media is going to change the game and change the day. We all have microphones now. We all have cameras now. We all have the broadcast ability now. And now we can make our voices heard. Now we can present the evidence not only in America, but to the whole entire world, who will see you liar, you racist, you descendant of a thief, for exactly who and what you are. We will be able to live our lives with some dignity and some respect as human beings, as fellow human beings. I came this morning to tell you this is what's on my heart. I watched a video that talked about how we built the wealth of this country with our labor. How this nation became a world power because of our free labor and the death of indigenous people. That's how America did it. That's the legacy of America. Those white kids who went to Princeton in the 1800s and the early 1900s, many of these people were the sons of slave owners. They got their education through money that was earned on the backs of poor black people who were being abused, who were being murdered, who were being raped physically, mentally, socially. And they took over not only the finance, but even the government. And they gave away millions of acres of land in land grants and barred black people from receiving any. So they stole the land from the indigenous people, and then they gave it to white people and told black people, you cannot participate in this gifting by the government of land. And not only did they give them the land grant, they give them a land grant college and federal funding. And not only did they give them that, if you ask Brother King, they actually gave them government agents to teach them how to farm the land that they had given them. And these are the same white people who today will say black people ought to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Well, how did you get up? Through murder, through thievery, political theft, gifting of money that's printed? Huh? You the son of a grandfather who went to college with money that was earned off the backs of slave labor. The redlining, the loans that you got at low interest, for now all that's supposed to be forgotten. Now we just supposed to start over. Now we got a clean slate. Now let bygones be bygones. Jews got reparations. Japanese got reparations. Everybody who's dealt with a Holocaust, indecent, inhumane treatment in this nation has had their measure of repair and reparations. For black people, this is America. Not only do you get no reparations, but you continue to be murdered at the hands of the state with your hands up. Not with a gun in your hand pointed back at the police, not in defiance, but with your hands up. You're called a resistor. Let me ask you a question. If you are not resisting and I punch you in the face once, and then I draw my hand back to punch you again, what's your natural reflex? Are you not going to raise your hand to try to protect yourself from the inflicting of pain? and injury, but that natural reflex in the face of an assault for a black man is called resisting and justification for the taking of his life. That's the America that we live in today. I'm supposed to let you tear my arm out the socket. I'm supposed to let you punch me in the face repeatedly. I'm supposed to let you physically abuse me. And if I do anything to upend that, I'm resisting and therefore deserving to put my life in your hands as judge, jury, and executioner. You, the police, who are here supposedly to protect and serve, but in fact, you're a scaredy cop, and you're so afraid that you see every black body as a threat. And the crazy part is that the law, which is not moral, it may be legal but immoral, will say you're justified in using deadly force simply because you were afraid. But you're a punk. You're afraid of everything. You're afraid of your own shadow, which means you are dangerous to any and everybody you are afraid of. And you as a white man are afraid of me because your white mother that raised you is afraid of me. And your white father is afraid of me. So of course you are afraid of me, and yet your fear justifies deadly force, and you wonder why Tamir Rice was shot in less than 2 seconds. A child in a playground with a toy gun. And yet no one is held accountable, and no one is held responsible, and we're supposed to sweep it all under the rug and dance like a minstrel in this Is America video. The time for being a minstrel is over. It's time for us as a people to, and I'm talking about people of African descent, I'm talking about people of Hispanic descent, I'm talking about people of Caucasian descent who want to be called or named in the number of people who are not inhumane and who have some morals, to take a stand against this type of foolishness. But black people in particular, we have to use the power of our dollar, the power of our vote, the power of our resistance to change the circumstance and stop being victims and begin and start to function as victors, understanding that the bounty on the American table that people are eating and enjoying came from the kitchen of your labor and your forefathers' labor. It's time to change this narrative. Thank you, Brother Dino, for being here. Thank you, Kerry Washington, for being here. Thank you, my cousin Dimples is in here. Jen Jenkins, Jennifer, how you doing? She's so sweet. I appreciate everybody for being here. My cousin Derek, absolutely brilliant academician, professor, is here. You know, we got some powerful people who stop by, who check out what we talking about on the Hall Street Journal. And I love to hear your comments, 240-719-2560. I know Mr. Sanders has been sitting here patiently while I've been on my soapbox this morning. But I'm telling you, I came here to preach the gospel of truth this morning. We need some truth and we need some substance. It's not all about the style. That's what the video This Is America really was breaking down. While y'all dancing and getting crunk, people are dying and getting killed. And what will you tell your grandchildren you were doing? And you did. We getting better videos from the Young Turks that are breaking down our arguments than I'm seeing from my own brother, Francis M. Maxwell, beautifully breaking down the dichotomy, the duplicity of American psychology and its treatment of people of black and brown descent. It's time to make a change. It's time to make a change. Mr. Sanders, you dressed up awful nice today, but I know there's a lot going on in your head and your heart, because this is a man who dedicated his life as an officer of law. in law enforcement?
Long before that,
And
I took an oath
yes, sir.
to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I took an oath 3 times. You cannot unswear me to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You took an oath. Mr. Ron took an oath. I did not know what was in the Constitution, but I took the book and read. And you who are listening to me, you pick up the book, brothers, sisters. In the Constitution is a remark that says inalienable. That's a right given to you by God, not man. To right life in the pursuit of happiness. And anytime anybody interfere with that, they have committed a crime, and they are to be locked up because they have committed a crime. And a lot of brothers and sisters' rights under inalienable have been violated, but nobody was locked up. Me, when I read inalienable, the right that was given to you by your Heavenly Father, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I've seen it. I've seen it. There's a lady, I'm gonna call her name. Her name is Joy. Joy. She's working with her handicapped sister. She served in the military. She took the same oath that I took. And the Treasury Department, I don't care if you like me or don't like me, the Treasury Department, she was in the union I was in, they did not give her the opportunity to allow the union. She was in the union. She paid dues. L.A.S. Joy. Aline Joy. They did not give her the right to have a person to represent her. She worked as a police officer, okay?
And she was mistreated by the government.
She was not allowed to have someone to represent her. She's out there now. They fired her, they brought her back with, and they didn't pay her back money. Huh?
They didn't pay what they were supposed to. The reality is that we have story upon story upon story of people who socially, professionally, personally, physically have been violated by supposed agents of justice, law, and order in this country. And you know, I could talk all day about the problem and people like Joy and people like all these folks that I've been posting on my feed this week, all these violations. But to get to the solutions, we really need to understand better and take action politically and financially on how we can get to the solutions, because these police are part of chain of command that are at the top of the chain of command are people that we elect. If you go into a police barrack, who is the top of the food chain in the chain of command? It is, in fact, the mayor. So if the police are acting up, the way for you to step on a police's head is not to go directly at the police. He's got a gun, he's got buddies, he's got mace, he's got rights that the justice system affords him to take your life without consequence in so many ways that you lose that battle. But if you just survive the incident and get that badge number, and then let me break something down to you real quick. I got to drop this one, Mr. Sanders, because I want to talk about big picture and I want to talk about solutions. That's what I want to talk about, because people come listen to this show. I don't want to just focus in on one thing, on one person. I want to get to a point for everybody. And here's a point for everybody. If you are the victim of any of this type of stuff, the pen is mightier than the sword. The ink of the author is more valuable than the blood of the martyr. I'm going to say that again. The ink of the author is more valuable than the blood of the martyr. Why do I say that? The blood of our fathers and sons and brothers and nephews and sisters is running in the streets, and nobody is doing anything to stop it. But the ink of the author, if you start to document in these officers' permanent records, if you start to document in the record of what was allowed to occur under this mayor or that governor or that county executive, and you start to document what's going on and attack them where they hurt, make sure they don't get promoted, make sure, see if you can do whatever you can do to get them fired. We got to put pen to paper. I've seen it and I've done it. I've had police officer act a fool with me, and no problem, I get that number and I get back into the comfort and safety of my own home, and then I get on that phone and I call. I say I'd like to speak to Internal Affairs. I say I'd like to file a formal written complaint. And then they got to send another old gray head officer out who's doing a desk job to come and take my detailed statement of everything I saw them do, everything they said and did. I want it in their in their jacket. Then I'm going to call the mayor's office and I'm going to complain to whoever the mayor done hired to make sure that he don't or she don't look bad. And I'm going to write up stuff for them. And then I'm going to go to the media. And by the time I'm done with that officer, literally, I've had this happen. They'll call you. I had an officer call me literally about in tears, begging, please don't do this. Because I knew how to hit him. I know your chain of command. You're not as powerful as you want people to think. You're only powerful by the gun. You're not powerful in the administration. Once you start having to go sit down and explain yourself, we need to hold people accountable. And I love the way the internet is holding these people accountable. I seen that guy, that lawyer who was ranting on the Spanish people, and the media showed up, and he ran like a little girl and called the police saying he was being harassed, claimed he was being held against his will. All types of crying now. Where's the crying when you was a tough guy talking to these Spanish people who were doing a job that none of these white or black people want to do? Yeah, I said it. None of you white or black people want to do what these Spanish people are doing. Hard work in the back of the kitchen, chopping up onions and what have you for your fajitas. They out there working hard and taking care of their kids and taking care of their families, and you want to go then discriminate against these people.
May I say something?
Yes. I want, absolutely.
I don't focus so much on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I focus on the solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to people continually talking about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't talk about the solution to the problem, and we keep going over and over and over and over and over about the problem, but we don't talk about the solution to the problem. And people are divided. I spoke about that before on this program, on the program before this program, and I talked to many people about the fact that we do not come to the conclusion of what is the solution to the problem.
But that was I was just talking about, though, right? Using political authority, using political power, using the pen and understanding it's mightier than the sword. And matter of fact, I think my brother Malcolm said it the best. He broke it down, and when he, if you want to read a speech, read The Ballot or the Bullet by Malcolm X. It's either going to be the ballot or the bullet. Now he said that it was in the 60s. It's still true today. It's the ballot or the bullet, and I'm going to spin it on you, brothers, sisters. Either you going to go to this ballot and you going to get this pen and you going to work this ballot and this pen, or you going to meet these police bullets again and again. And that's the only way you're going to live, survive, strive, achieve, believe, whatever you're trying to do. You got to understand that you're living in the realm of the ballot and the bullet. And Mr. Sanders, I know we talking about coming together, but the Bible say, how can two walk together except they agree? And if you don't see me as human, if you don't see me as an equal, and then we don't agree and we can't walk together, which means we going to be divided.
Mr. Hall.
And it's going to be the ballot or the bullet up in here.
Mr. Hall.
Mr. Sanders.
We need to forgive those who didn't know right from wrong. We have to forgive them, and we have to ask God to forgive them and clear our consciences. Now,
wait a minute. God don't even forgive you if you don't repent.
Let me finish, please. I lived in the state of Florida. I'm an Indian. People are looking at my complexion, okay? And they are judging me. They are judging me. I don't pass judgment on anyone because it says in the word, judge not, that you be not judged, for whatever measurement of judgment that you put off on others, that same measurement of judgment will be put off on you.
Yeah, but when they said that, the judgment was about a soul salvation. We have to judge, Mr. Sanders. We are required to judge.
Let me finish, please. When I lived in the state of Florida, born and raised in the Everglades, moved into the city, they called me nigger, they called me blackie, all those other names. I did not respond. Now, I worked in restaurants that served white folks, white people. I was not allowed to leave and come back to that restaurant and eat at the table that I fixed, putting the utensils, the water and all of that on those tables. But I'm not holding that against anyone because that was the way it was. I forgive those people. I asked God to forgive them, and I moved on.
But Mr. Sanders, when you say you're an Indian, you know that's the perpetuation of a lie. No. You said that. Let me finish. Because the only reason you say you're an Indian is because a white man landed in America, didn't know where he was at, thought it was India, and called the indigenous people in America Indians, and only the white man
Mr.
can
Hall,
tell. Wait a minute.
Mr. Hall.
No, you said let
No.
you finish. You let me finish.
No.
Because we got a show, and
No.
we're going to tell the truth.
No.
We're going to cry loud
You're
and
my
spare not.
friend,
No,
okay?
you are my friend.
I am.
But I got to be able to tell the truth. I got to tell the truth,
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Sanders.
that's not
I
true.
love you enough to tell you the truth. You are not an Indian.
Well, you said
Because
that.
a white man.
I didn't say that.
No, I said it. In my opinion,
You said that. I didn't say that.
Unless you from India, you are not an Indian.
Mr. Hall.
And, let me finish. Let
Mr.
me
Hall,
finish. Because
I'm a Native American.
Oh, now that sound better. That sound better. My point is, for a
Mr.
white
Hall.
man to tell a lie
Mr. Hall.
500-600
Mr. Hall.
years ago and have it reverberate. No, you're gonna let me finish too, Mr. Sanders.
But
Just
you
like I
just
let
told
you
me to
finish.
lie.
No. I didn't call you a lie.
And
I didn't call you a lie.
I didn't call myself a lie.
I didn't call you a lie. I'm telling you that the idea that
Once
you are
again.
Indian is not true.
Well,
It is a lie.
Well,
in my opinion.
no,
It is-
no,
it is- I said it's the
no,
perpetuation
no.
of a falsehood,
No.
a lie, because
No.
the people that
I'm
were
not
indigenous
gonna-
to this
I don't-
land were not from India.
Sir.
They are not Indians.
Sir.
It's disrespectful.
Sir.
It's disrespectful
Sir.
to your own people.
Sir.
It's disrespectful to
Sir.
Native Americans.
Sir.
They are indigenous. They weren't even Americans.
Sir.
They were native before there was such country as America.
Sir.
Before Amerigo
You need
Vespucci
to
was
write that.
born, them people, these people,
Because
these
I don't
indigenous
understand what you're
people.
talking about.
Well, hear me out. Because these people who were here predated Amerigo Vespucci, that they named this continent for.
Well, can I say something?
For wait a minute. No, you gotta let me say something now. For discovering a place where people were already at. That's like me coming to your house and discovering your living room while you sitting in it. How am I discover something and you there? How am I gonna name you after people, after a whole nother continent? Okay? I'm not gonna name you after a whole nother continent and then know that it's a lie and then have that reverberate through centuries of people calling you an Indian when India ain't nowhere near
Ron.
this place.
Take this off, man.
India ain't nowhere near here.
Okay.
I'm just being real, Mr. Sanders.
No.
Yeah, well, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. The reality is the truth is absolutely the truth. This is not India. We are not. There are no Indians here who are not from India. These are Native Americans and indigenous people. That is the reality. That is the truth. And the reality is that if we can't handle the truth, people only do one or two things when you tell them the truth. They either accept it and come closer to you, or they reject it and they get as far away from you as they can. And either way, you win. Because if you have to tell somebody a lie in order for them to be close or stay with you, you're not benefiting anyway. You're not benefiting at all. And that don't matter if it's a black person, a white person, an old person, a young person, a male, a female. The truth is the truth. And no, everybody's arms are too short to box with God. And God is the author and finisher of the truth. That's what we come here to deliver. Real talk, real conversation, real information. If we're not doing that, we are doing a disservice to each other. We are doing a disservice to our children and our children's children. It's time out for the lies. It's time out for the platitudes. It's time out for the kumbaya when somebody's trying to kill you and murder you and maim you and steal and destroy because they got the enemy inside them. And they're operating out of the directives of evil. But yet, they supposed to get a pass. And we who are the victims are supposed to give the pass while we lose our lives. While we become another hashtag. While we find more of our sons murdered. More of our sons, more Trayvon Martins, more Tamir Rice, more Philando Castillos. More black people not doing anything but sleeping or stepping out of their Airbnb or trying to barbecue on a beautiful day. We have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as American citizens and as the people who have made the greatest contributions to this nation. We have that right. And we must demand it. We must own it. We must operate from it. We must walk in the light of that truth. That is the deal. That is the bottom line. It's the bottom line for me. It's the bottom line for you. Whether it's me as a black man, you as a white man, as a man or a woman, as an Asian or Hispanic, the truth is something that will set you free. But it can't set you free if you don't embrace it. If you can either embrace the lie or you can embrace the truth. Choose ye this day who you will serve. That's real. That means if you're wrong, you have to admit when you're wrong. That means if it's not true, it's just not true. It's just not. If it's disrespectful, it's disrespectful. And it gets beyond the question of an individual. It's about the greater good. And one thing about this program, the Hall Street Journal, we're here to educate, edify, enlighten, and entertain. That means we're going to challenge the way you think. That means we're going to, and if what you think or what you believe can stand after the crucible of truth, then let it stand. But if it cannot, it must fall. It must fall. Truth must prevail. Love must prevail. And you can't talk about forgiveness and then operate out of anger. How can you forgive somebody from 50 years ago and then operate from anger 50 seconds ago? It don't add up. It don't add up. See, I hear your mouth, but I watch your feet. It's not what you say, it's what you do. It's what you do. I'm speaking to America. I too am America. And to all my black brothers and sisters who are out here who continue in this struggle, I want you to know you too are America. You don't have to walk with your head down. You should be proud. You should go to Wall Street and see the buildings, the skyscrapers, and the wealth of this nation and know that that is the legacy of your contribution. That the people who have and who hold it and who look down their noses at you are nothing more than the descendants of thieves. And you are the descendant of those people who did the work that built the wealth. That is the reality. That is the truth. And that will always be the truth, no matter how much they lie about it, no matter how much they try to make it their own. It is yours. And now you have been given a cards that were dealt to you, and you want to play them to the best of your ability. Are they ever going to give us what we rightfully deserve? No. Maybe not. Perhaps not. But in the words of John Adams, more important than winning is conducting yourself in such a way that you deserve to win. That's the question. We're going to wrap up the show. Mr. Sanders stepped back in. I didn't know if he wanted to finish up. Any words?
I'm a little disappointed because I'm not accustomed to anyone calling me a liar because I don't lie. I am concerned about society. I'm a humanitarian, and I want to see us come together. I see so much division, and I see a lot of pain and suffering and all that. I'm not so much concerned about the problem. I'm concerned about the solutions to the problem. And I've been like this for many, many years. You know, and I had one of my relatives say to me, whatever you do out of love. And that's what I do. I practice what someone told me. I wasn't like that before. But whatever I do out of love.
And we appreciate you for being here, Mr. Sanders. That's why we call him the national treasure. I want to make it clear to you, Mr. Sanders, on air. I never called you or did not believe you to be a liar.
I'm not talking about
But
you.
I'm as a brother to a brother. I'm just telling you, as a brother to a brother, we perpetuate things that are not true sometimes.
I'm not talking about you.
And I just wanted to make that clear.
I'm
Okay.
not talking about you.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate. Look, we're here to speak truth to power. Speak truth to power. We'll be back next Friday at 10:30. You know we always on time except for when we late. This is the Hall Street Journal. We're here to educate, edify, enlighten, and entertain. I'm not a minister. I'm just a message, but I hope the message has ministered to you.
I hope that whatever I have said on this program was beneficial to anyone listening to this program.
There it is.